Hi, I'm Stephanie Wainwright. I'm a wife, a mom, a business owner, and my life is chaotic all the time. So I created this podcast to help you find the funny, the good, while navigating through the chaos. This is Chaotic Compass Podcast.
I feel like it's not. There we go. If you came here looking for perfection, you came to the wrong place. Oh my goodness. It has been a hot minute, guys. It has been a hot minute. Hey, I'm Stephanie. This is Chaotic Compass Podcast. I am excited to be here in the new year. It's 2024, you guys. Wow. Like, what is going on? Like, I feel really ancient. So, there's that. So let's just go ahead and get with the cheers. So if you don't know, I sip and I bitch and I talk about all the things. So I typically try to bring in something new. But because I got off of the awesome train with posting every week, I am just going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep my drinks simple. So my tried and true for the winter. Those of you who don't know, hey, I'm Stephanie, like to drink. My tried and true for the winter is a Captain 100 and Coke. That's what I'm drinking this evening. And during the summer, I like to keep it light with some vodka and some, club soda and a lemon. Sometimes I'll just put some vodka on ice and just put a lemon in it with a sugar rim too. So, because oh my gosh, I'm super excited. My father-in-law, it's like, my father-in-law, I don't know if it's like this passive aggressive thing or if he really does know me. Either way, he got me a bottle of Grey Goose for Christmas. I mean, you don't have to give me anything else. I love alcohol. So that's cool. But it's like, well, let's get the alcoholic some alcohol. Anywho, he got me Grey Goose, and I'm super thankful for that. And I'm super excited. I tried it was literally, I think it was New Year's Eve. Yeah, New Year's Eve, I popped it open and did a sugar rim with the lemon. I cannot wait for warm weather. I'm in here. Okay, so if you want to check me out on YouTube, you can see the whole ensemble. I'm in a sweatshirt. I am fully clothed. And I got a candle. Hey, shout out to Newbern Candle Company in Newbern, North Carolina. We found them. So I know I'm going off on a tangent. Stay with me. I promise I have a whole thing for this episode, right? If you came for perfection, you came to the wrong place. So Newbern, North Carolina has these awesome candles right here. Look at that. My favorite scent, the Outer Banks. We found them happenstance by this cute little boutique that's in Ocracoke. And you can order them online. I will leave the link in the show notes. Oh my gosh, it is perfection. It is just soothing. It reminds me of Ocracoke because we had them burning in Ocracoke. It's just, I've been doing year-end tax bullshit. So, again, hey, I cuss a lot. So if you're looking for something that's for kids, this is not the right place. So I apologize. But it also has the E on there letting you know I'm going to cuss. So anyway, shout out to Newbern Candle Company in Newbern, North Carolina. They are awesome. So got the candles going. I've got my Captain 100 and Coke. So cheers to the new year. All right. New year, new me mindset. Okay, it's not really a new me, but I'm going to get my shit together, okay? So today is Friday. So I usually record on a Thursday. It's Friday. I've got no kids. It's quiet in the house. And I'm like, We got this. Mindset. Okay. So, what is mindset? I'm like, hey, I've got some goals for the new year. This is how this whole topic came up. I've got some goals for the new year. Ryan, what are yours? And he's like, I hate resolutions. They're so dumb. I'm like, no. It's not a resolution. Resolution is such a freaking overused word. It's for people that join the gym for just January and stop going for 2 times afterwards. Like, you can work out anywhere. You can walk up and down the street. You can literally do the basic things. You don't need to join a membership. Get the habit together and then join a membership, kind of thing. I went off on a tangent. All right. So this topic of conversation came up. I was like, hey, Ryan, I've got some goals for the year. What are yours? And he's like, I don't know. Let me think about that. And he came back and he was like talking about, if this happens, then this is my goal. But if this happens, then this is my goal. And I was like, wait a second. That seems like you've got a whole lot of, you're waiting for something to happen. And then you've got fallback plans. So I was like, oh man, this is so good. So he and I had the discussion, but I was like, you know what? If I'm having a discussion with Ryan, who is 42, I'm sure that anybody could absorb this stuff. And I'm not dogging my husband. It's just something that I don't know why it's instilled in me in this mindset that I've got. And we're going to go into what my mindset is. But it's just something that I've always had. And so it's not that your way of thinking is wrong. It's just, if you want to be like that, that's cool. If you want to be here and just be content with where you're at, that's cool. If you're happy, you're happy. If you're content, you're content. That's cool. But if you're striving for something greater and you're frustrated that you're not achieving those things, here's where it starts. Okay. Mindset. Okay. Mindset when it comes to goals mainly, but mindset in general. So let's get some education on the different mindsets to have. Okay. So the main ones are fixed, growth, and victim. So fixed mindset is you have good, it's all right. And my nose is running like, ugh. I hate winter. My nose. Oh, and I just whacked the mic. Oh, no. You have a fixed mindset. You're good or bad at something based, or you think. Hold on. Fixed mindset, it was when you think you're good or bad at something because of your inherent nature, right? Okay, so you think that you have all of what you are going to be able to achieve in your DNA, or the nurture versus nature thing. Like you have either watched somebody or your lineage, or it's just in your DNA. You have the mindset that you cannot learn anything new, period. Let's put a pause on that. We're going to come back to, but I'm just explaining the 3 different types. Growth mindset. This is you have basic abilities, or you have your basic abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. You feel that you can learn anything as long as you put your mind to it. Victim mindset. You have no control over what happens, and because of what has happened to you is holding you back from being able to do something. Or you are being held back because of the circumstances surrounding you. Okay. So back to my story with Ryan and I. So I kind of dove into where I was like, wow, that's so crazy that you think that you have to have a fallback plan. And so there's two parts, A and B. You have to have a fallback plan and you have to have something like happenstance happen to you. You have a coincidental event that sparks some, combustion in your life, and then voila, magic happened. A miracle is performed in your life, and then therefore these things have to go. Do not come at me. I love my husband. I'm just using us as examples. I don't have any other things to go off of, and this what sparked this conversation. And so I swear I'm not dogging my husband all the time. Like, I love him dearly. It's just we constantly have these things that go on, and I'm like, hey, if I learn something from this, then you probably could too. So Ryan really does believe that he's waiting for the good. He's waiting for the thing to happen. And in retrospect, he's waiting for the bad to happen too. Now I can see that too. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so but that's a thing for me, and trauma and shit. And so so you're waiting for the good, you're waiting for the bad, you're waiting for something to come along to you into a different direction, and then that direction is gonna open doors magically, right? He also believes that having a backup plan is necessary. Like, the man is not a planner. I'm the planner in this household. I literally, as you can see, come over to my YouTube, check it out. I've got shit everywhere. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calendars up in this joint. I've got the cute Ocracoke one. That's just for fun. They give us that for free for renting out a place. You rent out a home in Ocracoke and they give you a calendar. That's so cool. These two are blank now because that's my crew and my captain's schedule. My schedule, hey, look, you guys, I'm actually up to date and there's shit on it. I'm doing awesome. And Ryan's schedule, and then the one that's out of the frame is my kids' schedule. And I am the planner. But for my husband to say, I have to have a backup plan for my goal was crazy to hear. I don't even, like, my brain couldn't even comprehend. And so I had read the book. Ooh, hold on. Pause for the cut. Okay. So I had read the book. Or, not read. I had listened on Audible. I love Audible. Especially when I'm going half an hour to the boat and half an hour back, with going to job sites and stuff. I love Audible. Put it on play and just listen to the book. Burn the Boats. Toss Plan B overboard and unleash your potential by Matt Higgins. You guys, this book is real and hilarious. It's got funny moments. This guy is good. Like, I loved hearing his mindset. Like, he talked about having a plan B is literally just you're giving yourself a safety net. That plan. So if you set a goal, but you've got a fallback plan, then if you don't reach your goal, then it's okay. And it's like, you're already setting yourself up for failure. If you're like, okay, well, if I don't reach this, then it's okay. Then it's not that big of a deal because I knew that I wasn't gonna get that far, so I made a backup plan. Like, girl, dude in the back, hey, I know there are dudes that listen to this. So anyway, so when I say girl, I'm not trying to be like, no, look, all right, you're a dude and listen to this. No, look, girl, here it is. Listen to this. Stop making a plan B. Stop making the backup plan. Stop doing that with your life. Make a plan, set a goal. For me, I'm one of those weirdos. I set a goal and then I set a boom goal. Like audacious, crazy goal. And this year it was like I kind of teetered in between my goal and then my boom goal for some of the months. And then oh my God, August hit us hard. So, but it's not that I have a fallback plan. It's like, this is my goal. This is already something that's above what we've done last year for revenue. This is already above what I'm thinking. This is a goal. And so my boom goal is like, woo, let's go. Let's go. Let's see how far we can climb. How do we get there? What do we need to do? Ryan is making goals of, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but I need this to happen. So, but if that doesn't happen, then this. So, but we've also had the conversation about, I come from, before Ryan and I were together, I've had so many difficult things that have come to me, and I'm not like, I could have played the card. I could have played the card of, my husband cheated on me. Woe is me. I shouldn't go get a job. I should just go ahead, and he cheated on me, and so he should pay. And I can't get, and I'm not worth loving, and nobody's gonna find me attractive anymore. I've got 2 kids from 2 different dads, and I just wallow in a hole and not try to better my family. My family now consists of me and my kids, and I shouldn't try to better my family. I should just suck off of my ex-husband. And like, I can't even finish that sentence. Like, look, if you have that mentality, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Like, I just want to hug you right now. But you gotta figure out, what do you want? That's first and foremost. What do you want? What do you want in this beautiful, amazing life? You have life. You have air in your lungs. You have a life. What do you want? Okay. Step 1. Step 2 is, so you've had some shit things happen to you. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of flack about this, but you've had some shit happen to you, whatever it may be. But for me, I've learned from all of those experiences, and I've either safeguarded my heart, I've safeguarded my mind, I've safeguarded my kids, I've safeguarded my finances. I've learned from all of those experiences, and I'm like, hey, like me and my kids, but I need to keep pushing forward. Me wallowing in this isn't going to help. I have to keep moving. So how do I keep moving? Okay, so what's the next step? Even if just tomorrow, the next day, like, how do I get through tomorrow to try to do better? How can I be better today than I was yesterday? Little tiny increments. That's how I broke free of that victim mentality and tried to get into a slightly growth mentality. I did have a slightly fixed mentality of, I will never be a good wife. And I think because I have the mentality that a good wife is such and such, And I'm not that person, and that's something that I'm still working through. And apparently my husband thinks that I'm a good wife, and because we've been married for 4 years now, and here we are. So, but breaking free from the fixed mindset. And again, if you are content with where you're at, with what you've got going on, and you don't want anything to change, then you are in the wrong place. If you have goals and you're trying to achieve different and trying to achieve better, you have to have a growth mindset. So, for instance, I am doing this podcast, and 3 years ago, I literally Googled, how do you create a podcast? And I learned everything that I'm doing here. Is it the best? Is it awesome? Am I getting bajillions of dollars? No. I do this for my therapy. But I learned how to do all of this, how to record it, what's the best equipment, or what's the best equipment on a budget. I started off with my phone. How do you upload it to a website? How do you make that website RSS to, Spotify and Apple Podcast? And how I got from I'm just thinking about this to I'm doing this. It was a huge leap of faith, and you have to do it afraid. You have to do it scared. There's no way to do anything for the first time in your life without being scared. Even if it's just a little remote, and sometimes it's a lot for me, but I have something in my eyeball. Please hold. Really? All right, we'll pirate it out. But for me, I don't know why, but I've always had a growth mindset. And I don't know if it's because how I grew up, because I'm like, hey, I don't want to be this person. I want something better for me. I want to learn. I always have had I know I can learn. I want to learn. Oh my gosh, me and why? Like, why is this the way this is? And okay, well, if it's that way, is that the best way? And so I'm always constantly wanting to know the why. So I guess from a young age of constantly asking why, and maybe because my grandmother didn't just be like, because it's the way it is, she actually answered it and gave me more than basic answers. I don't know. I think I can attribute a lot of my mindset to her, which is kind of interesting because she grew up in an age where you're just supposed to be a good housewife, and she raised two boys and she kept the house while my grandfather did everything else. And so when for the longest time she didn't know how to pump gas, she didn't know how to her checkbook. And so when my grandfather was starting to he got sick and he had cancer, and when he started to kind of deteriorate, she had to learn all those things. But she had the mindset all of her life that she can't do that. And within an instant, she's like, I got this. I'm going to learn, And so I think it's pretty interesting when you're pushed up into this boundary of like, well, you either learn or you get somebody else to do it for you, or you let all the bills pile up and get foreclosed on. And so, you have a few options here, but you're obviously, and I'm not saying obviously, because I've known some people that are like, I don't know what to do, and then literally just let the tidal wave of shit take them over. I'm not talking about depression here. So, for real, mental health plays a huge part in people. And I'm not trying to take away from that. And I apologize if any of that has offended anybody as far as with mental health issues. Having depression and suicidal thoughts and thinking that suicide is the only option out. Oh my God. I'm here for you. And I'm so sorry that you think that that's the only way out. I'm telling you, it's not. That grief that you have is just going to pass off to somebody else. And that's the only thing that keeps me going when I get into those ruts, because I had to play that out. I went through that. I had to, once I kind of went in, I have an episode about it. I'm not trying to do it. Anyways, I kind of played it through my mind with my therapist of, okay, well, what does that look like for your kids when you die? And I was like, oh, Lord, oh, okay, we're just going to start off easy here. And so, and she gave me statistics of what it looks like for kids that have had suicidal parents. And that was my suicide is never going to be an option for me. I will always figure it out because I don't want to do that to my kids. So that was my information, my statistic, my growth mindset of I'm going to keep pushing through. Okay, I didn't mean for this episode to be Okay. Okay. Get it together. We're going to get it together. We're emotional. Take a sippy pill. I know for a fact that unaliving myself is not the answer, because I gained the information on the statistics of how it would affect my kids. I didn't think about that before. I was slightly selfish before. Woe is me. I've got a lot of shit going on. I'm not taking away from the shit that I had. It was a lot. But I didn't think of how it was going to affect anybody else. And for me, I was like, wow, that's slightly selfish. So I did the work. I did the work to work on me and try to figure out, okay, so what is going on in my brain? What is actually triggering these thoughts? And so I did the work. And so from then on, I've always had a growth mindset, but in that period of my time, I had the victim mindset of I can't do any better. Nobody's going to love me. And nobody does love me. Even to that fact. So I learned that I do have a lot of people that love me. I do have a lot of people that care about me. I have a beautiful life and I'm willing to strive to make it better. I'm willing to strive to get to the even better. It took a lot of therapy, you guys. Not gonna lie. Ooh, it was brutal. I think I would use up a whole box of tissues every session. It's not easy. But you've got to unpack what is holding you back first before you can move forward. If you're anchored in something, you're not going to go anyplace no matter how hard you bust your ass. It's I have this conversation with my husband, more with his ADHD than anything, or more with his ADD than anything. He is constantly got the mentality of just hustle and grind, hustle and grind, hustle and grind. And I'm like, yes, you are hustling and grinding, but you're not making any progress. If you're just spinning your wheels at the starting line, you're never, ever going to make it to the finish line. And if you don't know what the finish line is, then so you got to figure out what mindset that you are. Are we playing the victim? And if you are, I understand that you've had some hard shit, but you've got to realize that there's a lesson to learn from that. Every hardship has a lesson. And you can come and be like, well, I lost my husband, or I lost my spouse, or I lost my child. Yes, that is hard. But there's a lesson to learn from that. And maybe that lesson to learn is to never, ever take a moment for granted. But to unpack that, you need some therapy, and you can't find that here. I can only preach the things that I have learned in my path to where I'm going. I cannot speak to your specific path. So you got to figure out your mindset, and you got to figure out where you want to go. If you're content with where you're at, then there is no growth. There is nothing here. But if you are one place and you want to be in a completely different place, you gotta figure out the mindset, and then you gotta figure out the path. Now, the path is the hardest part. I'm not gonna lie. I've got some pretty audacious goals, and I'm like, I have no idea. I have no idea how I'm ever going to be able to get to those things. But I have people I know that I might be able to gather information from. I have people in that industry that I can gather with and have conversations with to be able to potentially get in that direction. There's always something you can gain from somebody. There are a lot of people that can take something from you too, but again, if they take something from you, it's a lesson learned. Okay, so you've got to have that perspective. So I hope this podcast finds you well, or at least in a place that in a better direction than from 2023. So 2023 was not a horrible year, but it definitely was not the best year for our family. We are still learning. We're still trying to figure out the groove with all 4 kids all the time, pretty much. We're still trying to figure out everybody's needs and wants, and we've met some really cool people that have opened up some doors for 2024, which I'm super excited about. So everything, it's about perspective. You have to get some gratitude and be thankful for what you have. Be real. So just start small and then work from there. All right, guys, that is it for me for this evening. I am so excited about this year. If you can't see, if you come over to my YouTube, I've got my whole January calendar lined up. I'm so excited. So it feels good to sit here and record. So I appreciate you guys. I did the little, I hate that. Sorry, I'm getting better. If you have a topic that you would love for me to dive into, a little Dear Abby, little Dear Steph, you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. You can slip me a DM, or you can email me at info@chaoticcompass.com. So, yeah, guys, I'm just so glad to be back. I have a lot to unpack for this month. This month is all about goals. So, ride the train with me. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great night.